What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, a couple of things. One, Sarah Bond is the queen of Xbox. Let's keep that real. She should do more things where it's little videos of her being beautiful, saying things that are awesome because she's making it happen over there at Xbox. She's the queen of Xbox. Queen of the hardware of the platform. I believe CEO of Xbox. I think that's her. I can't remember. And so the news is they partner with AMD, making next generation consoles. Xbox is dead. No more console. Why should I buy an Xbox? Because there ain't gonna be no more hardware. They lost the hardware. They're out of the hardware business. No more competition. Now what you saying? They're making a console, home console. They still say that they're making a handheld. That's with AMD. That's not with, ROG Xbox Ally. That's not that. That's something separate because it's not out yet. I mean, that one isn't out, but that was announced already. It's a separate announcement. Plus whatever else, this cloud, this, that, TVs, everything. It's basically their strategy, their stratagems. Excuse me. For the future. And the more that you look, you slice it up into three slices: Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. And you're like, who has the most winningest path, if you will? Some people say, oh, Nintendo, because they sold 3.5 million in one day or whatever it was, right? I'm like, okay. It's an argument for that, if they can actually repeat what they did with the Switch 1. I think what's happening with the Switch 2, all the people who bought that in the beginning are the parents of the kids who want a Switch. And some of them were rich kids and their parents bought it for them because they're rich and $500 is nothing. $500 is cheap for a little thing to keep Jimmy quiet, Trust fund Jimmy, you know what I mean? So, sure, you have the whale parents, boom. But then you have all the working class parents who are like, yo, I'm a Nintendo fan. My kid's a Nintendo fan. They got a Switch. I got the Switch OLED. I'm going to give them the Switch OLED. I'm getting the Switch 2. And that's how that worked out. And so they can play Mario Kart on the big TV, but they only need one Switch, and that's Papa Switch. That's the Papa Switch. Oh, what is that dirt? The Papa Switch is right there, and that's what they got. And I don't know how I got dirt on my dirt. Dirt, why you on my arm, dirt? Dirt, look, gone. It's easy to get dirt off. Pause. That didn't sound right. Anyway, so look. Sony's in a bad way. Nintendo's, they're doing their thing. We'll see how long this honeymoon lasts with what they're doing, because the problem with Nintendo is that they need to come with it consistently. And they have a couple of games that are like, okay, that might last for a year or two. But other than that, if they can't bring bangers like that, like Super Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza every year, then they got problems. But Microsoft, I just saw a thing on the Outer Worlds 2. It was Inside Gaming, and I trust them because they're old Funhouse. I think it was Funhouse, right? The old Funhouse alumni, or I forgot what else. I think it was just Funhouse, but whatever. I like them. Bruce and wow, why am I forgetting the other guy's name? Lawrence. And so they said Avowed is good. I'm sorry. The Outer Worlds 2, they said one, the graphics are way, it's like triple A. It's a triple A, like triple A in the triplest A-ist terms. And I saw some clips and I'm like, yo, how'd they get the facial animation? That's one thing about Obsidian. They destroy Bethesda when it comes to facial animations. Like even the Outer Worlds, the first one, was better than what Starfield ended up being. Even Starfield was okay. Some of the stuff was kind of bespoke, hand animated, hand tweaked stuff, but like the regular day-to-day stuff is like kind of wooden, right? But maybe the Outer Worlds 2 is the same way, but for the most part, the first game, it was just better. Like the facial animation all around better than anything Bethesda had done at that point, and still better than, I would say, Starfield. But Lawrence said specifically, said the shooting is so good for a RPG. It's first person shoot. He said this game got it's crazy nice and it's so fast and you're running around and you're jumping. It's like, yo. And that's kind of, Avowed had that too. So I was like, cool. So I'm like, yo. And they're like, oh, $80 is too much. I'm like, I'm looking at the quality. I'm like, maybe it's not too much. Gonna play it on Game Pass though, so I'm not paying $80. And if I felt it was worth $80, I wouldn't pay $80. What I would do is look for a collector's edition, because that's, if you're gonna buy something, for me, I am a collector. If I want something, I'm not the collector that has to get everything. No, I get the things that I want. And so, like, for instance, like if Yu Suzuki all of a sudden went to Sega and said, yo, put all my games out, I'd be like, yo, I'm buying a physical copy. Well, I mean, I don't know how that would work, but I would buy them all. This is what I would do. Sega, are you listening? If Sega sold the ROMs to all of their old past arcade games, specifically Yu Suzuki stuff, I would purchase them legally. Sell me your games so I can buy them. But they don't want to do that for some reason. Maybe because they think, oh, if you buy it, then you're going to make copies and then pirate it. But I'm like, look, man, y'all need to figure out a way to sell that stuff and protect it, I guess. I don't know. But whatever. But there's certain things I would collect because of nostalgia, because of like how I came up through video games. And so it's just the kind of, it is nostalgia. It is to relive those memories. And also to kind of learn from the past to apply to the future in a way. But, like, I don't know how much I would pay. Like if it comes with a statue and all this and the soundtrack and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not into statues that much. But if it had like a little, I don't know, it's just hard to say. But anyway, tangents. But Microsoft is on the right path. And if you look at the news this week, past 2 weeks or whatever, Microsoft, new hardware, next gen, partner with AMD, gonna have AI in it, all this good stuff, blah, blah, blah. So far, Sarah Bond is a woman of her word. She's talking the talk and she's walking the walk. Let's see what happens, right? So I'm good. Let's go. What happened over at Nintendo? They breaking consoles. I mean, they sold consoles, so I was like, all right, cool. But they breaking consoles like ain't no tomorrow. This one dude did a test. He had his own ROMs, right? So he had his own legally dumped ROMs from games that he owns, and he put it on one of the, it wasn't an R4. I forgot what they call it for the Switch. We put it on there to try to play. It banned his system. I'm like, Nintendo could keep that. There's no way in the world I would buy a Switch with them doing that. That's just ridiculous. But they do what they need to do. They do what they feel that they need to do to protect their interests. We'll see how far that gets them. Because Nintendo is still Nintendo, and they make a bunch of mistakes, and then people get upset, and then they unmake the mistakes. So all y'all need to do, Nintendo heads, get upset. Stop buying it. Let the sales plummet. You'll see what happens. But the main news this week, the main story is about Bungie. It's about Marathon. Concord Part 2. It is that they have put out one of those little cards with the words on it. I don't even know if you want to call it a press release, sure. Where they are indefinitely, I was going to say canceling. They're indefinitely delaying Concord Part 2. I mean, Marathon. Indefinite. And then they put a list of the stuff they're going to fix. Or they're going to work on, let's just say. Not fix. And so it's like, a lot of it was like, make the game cooler. Make you want to play it. I mean, I'm being facetious and also exaggerating a lot. But still, kind of, sort of. And the last thing I think that was on the list was proxy chat. And I'm like, geez. They're so dumb. I don't know whose idea was it to make an extraction shooter without proximity chat, but everybody knew it was a bad idea. Everybody was telling them this is a bad idea, but they're like, oh, we don't want any toxicity and toxic people going in and talking shite and stuff and saying bad words. Little Jimmy's playing it. I remember now. I'm like, y'all are dumb. Yeah, this is how, my question, how does a studio slash company, Bungie the studio, Sony's the company, PlayStation, Sony's the company, how do those three entities exist today in 2025 and not know how to make a game? Because they were making a game nobody wanted to play. They were making a game that didn't fulfill the needs of that genre specifically. It's like, yo, you got a first person shooter. Okay, you got to have certain amount of things, like things to shoot at, pew pew sounds, bullets that come out to hit the things that you're shooting at, uh, maybe some running, some ducking, crouching, prong, jumping, camber. No, that's not what it is. All those things, shields, progression, maybe a story you could buy. Camouflage socks. I don't know, whatever. I mean, that's not necessary, but you know what I'm saying. The fundamental things you need for these games, and specific genres require specific things in order to work. And these guys at Bungie have years of experience in FPS but obviously zero experience in extraction shooters because they were about to release a game without proximity chat. And I played a couple. I've said it before. I played a few. And look, proximity chat is important, not even just for extraction shooters, but like battle royales. I think did PUBG have it? I can't remember. But like all those games that are kind of multiplayer and it's like everybody against everybody or team versus team, that stuff is important. I mean, team versus team even more so because you're talking to your team and then somebody could be creeping around the corner, listening, and get the jump on you when you're done. Your whole team is done, or you get to jump on them, whatever, whatever. But and then you can create alliances. A lot of organic scenarios happen when you have open mics like that and you have proximity chat, and that's part of the allure of those type of games. This is like Sea of Thieves has proximity chat, and without it, it would be half a game. It wouldn't be anything really. That is a very important part of that game, where like you just like people like in Sea of Thieves, you're a pirate, and but everybody in that server, they gonna probably rob you, or you be like, look, I'm a newbie, I just want my money. You can have this chest. I'm gonna take this chest, okay? And they be like, I get out here, fool, and then you make a deal, or you be like, yo, I'm gonna kill all you fools, and you kill them, or you don't, you get got. Something like that could happen. So, it's very important, and to me, the fact that they even had the idea of not including it shows me that they don't know what they're doing. Okay, they know how to make that 30-second loop, that 30 seconds of fun. They know how to do that. Okay, they did it in Halo. They've been doing it ever since. But outside of that, I don't know. They lost they kind of lost the trail. I don't know what they have lost the identity of how to do storytelling because it's all in like journals and like, oh, it's a tape or something. I'm like, yo, make some characters that we like, make some cinematics, do what Halo did. Come on, son. But they're not doing that because I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just it's a little puzzling to me because I'm like, look, y'all could do it. You know you could do it. I know it costs more money to do that, but maybe they're too busy freaking buying freaking classic cars or spending millions of dollars on freaking penthouse suites to crash pads and not putting that into the game. And that's why Sony collapsed them. But anyway, the the indefinite delay of Marathon is another example, another indication of the downward spiral of PlayStation as a brand and their IP. Bungie's was supposed to be the best. They created Halo, dope. Destiny, people like it, so I ain't gonna say that. I played a little bit of it and I was like, I'm good. And the shooting is good and all that stuff, but I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna play that. So, it's like they can make fun shootings, but the game all as a whole, I don't know. And they're like, oh, we're gonna add some more dynamic AI and blah 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 and events and something like, it sounds like you need to make the rest of the game. So it's like y'all were trying to release this in September 23rd with nothing in it. They don't like it's almost like all this bad stuff happens on certain games, not so much Bungie games, but other games that come in underbaked, underprepared, underdeveloped, and it fails because there's nothing there, and or if the studio and company that's making it just drops it like Concord, or they stick with it for years and years and years, like Sea of Thieves, Rare, Microsoft, or even Halo Infinite. And they stuck with it. They made it better. It's good now, right? So Sony is not that company. PlayStation is not that company to stick with something. If it's not a hit right away, they dump it. You've seen it time and time again. You've seen it for years. Now, back in the past, they may have hung on a little bit, maybe a year or something. I don't know how long MAG was up, but it wasn't like 2 weeks and done like Concord. They were like, and I'm pretty sure they didn't have as much invested in it. Like they don't have all these There are cinematics for Concord, the worst failure of a game ever created. Thank you, Sony. Never forget. I'm sure the cinematics of for Concord, hours and hours of cinematics created for that game that will never see the light of day because it was part of their content plan. Sony is so ass backwards because they're trying to still force this cinematic quality to games where they're forcing it into places where it doesn't need to be. It's like Concord, it's a team hero shooter. I mean, it's not story based. You just have cinematics that doesn't connect. It doesn't make sense. Like if it was a story based game that had Concord gameplay, how would you do that? I mean, I guess there's a way to do it. You just would have bespoke, order of locations and objective. I don't know. That's a hard thing to do without it being just like a Halo ripoff or something. But but Bungie is done. I mean, Bungie's dead. Let's just be real. They don't exist anymore. They're a Sony company. Sony bought them. They were technically independent, but I think PlayStation absorbed them. As far as I don't. I mean that was it. Find something to find a game to find or whatever it's called, that new studio that came out of Bungie devs. That is I believe it's a PlayStation studio now. So they created it. They took the Bungie devs out of Bungie, plopped them into PlayStation. Now it's a PlayStation studio, and that's what's happening to the rest of them. And maybe it'll still be called Bungie. Who knows? But yeah, they're done. They're done. I mean, they've been done since that first hand of layoffs where they laid off Luke Smith and whoever else they did. So yeah, I got a little faith. I mean, they delayed it, so that's an indication indefinitely that the house is on fire and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to do it, and they just keep spending money. It is such a utter cluster F over there that I'm like, I don't understand how. and now in hindsight, you look at it, it's like, oh, that's why Microsoft said, nah, we're good. That's why Microsoft let them go. They're like, oh, we want to be free. We want to be free from the oppressive Microsoft. And Microsoft was like, okay. Don't let the door hit you. They were like, get the hell out of here. You spending all this money. What you come out with a half-broken Halo 2, not even finished? We didn't have enough time. You had all the time, and we gave you all the money. Get the hell out of whatever. I'm telling you, man. I think outside of the first Halo, they were that's how Bungie has been for years. And I think it's gotten worse, obviously, but yeah, no. As their heads grew bigger from their success, it's gotten worse. So, but yeah, another sad story from PlayStation because they suck and they can't catch a break. They can't. There's no good news. What was the last good news you heard from on the PlayStation camp? What's Porter Rock talking about? He's not talking about anything positive to PlayStation. He's sitting there with his DualSense pillow, and he's like, "Well, I'm sorry, I just did X Vault real quick. I can't do it. I'm congested." But anyway, I was trying to practice my Porter Rock today, and it's not what Dirt does. Dirt does an exaggerated. I don't know what he does. I just go to Nintendo. That is not Porter Rock, but yeah, I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna try to do me some Porter Rock. But anyway, pause. No, the impression, not the yeah. Anyway, yeah, man. Sony is just they're disappointing this generation. They came out semi-swinging, and now they fumbling every ball. They hit foul balls. They're doing everything except getting hit by the ball. Yeah, they're sucking real good right now. But anyway, I appreciate you hanging the show. Let me know, like, subscribe. Hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Bungie delaying, or PlayStation, or whoever's idea it was to delay Marathon indefinitely. They're saying it's gonna come out by the end of March, March 26th, by the end of March or something next year. Or was it May or March? I think it was March 2026. I'm like, really? That doesn't sound like an indefinite delay. It sounds like a 6-month delay, or what is it? It's not a 6 month. I was almost say it's 9-month delay or something like that, right? March, April, May, June. Yeah, like a 9-month delay. So it's less than a year, more than 6. A little bit confusing with the math, so it doesn't seem as bad as 12-month delay. Because people are like, oh my gosh, it's delayed a year, failure, L for PlayStation. But it's, yeah, like I said, it's an indication of the failings and the failures and the constant failure and the continuing failure of PlayStation and their mismanagement of Bungie, mismanagement. It's everything that they've said about Xbox that wasn't true actually is true over on PlayStation side. But anyway, appreciate you guys, like I said already. Yeah, just let me know in the comments, and all that good stuff, and I'll continue. I read them all, like I said, and I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all next one. Take the week.